Hey everyone, so today I want to talk about all of the planners and journals I'm currently using and also some of my plans for 2024 because at this point I'm actually pretty settled on my system for next year. So yeah, I thought I would share that with you today. Of course, I'll also do like a separate lineup video as soon as I have all of my planners set up. But yeah, I thought it would maybe be fun to talk about all of my planners and the ideas I have for next year. So this will probably be a little bit of a chatty video, but since this channel is still fairly new, I haven't had the chance to show you my full system. So I want to do that today, and yeah, I of course hope you enjoy watching. But now let's just get right into it. Okay, so let's just start with my current planner system. I'm usually in two books. One is my wallet, where I have a monthly insert I use on the go, and then I also always have a main planner, which at the moment is my Leuchtturm A6 pocket bullet journal. So yeah, that's pretty much always the system I have, and this always stays the same pretty much, and this changes every now and then. I won't be talking too much about this one because I just recently did a traveler's notebook video where I showed you all of my traveler's notebooks and of course also this one. So if you're interested in that, maybe just go ahead and watch this video because I don't really want this video get too long. So yeah, I won't be talking about that one, but you can watch the dedicated video if you want to. And also I'm planning on doing a setup video for this one at the end of the year where we kind of set up the new monthly insert together. So yeah, but this is my wallet. I have a wallet insert in here and also one of those simple monthly inserts, and this pretty much never changes. And then we have my bullet journal, which I just recently moved into. And if you've seen my bullet journal setup video, you probably already know that. Before I moved into that one, I was using this A6 Hobonichi original, and I used this pretty straightforward, I think. I just used the monthly overviews for all of my appointments and things like that. And wait a minute, I have to, yeah. Then I just used the daily pages for my to-do lists and also just lists and things like that. So pretty much just for planning. And I really like this book, but I feel like this wasn't really the perfect system for me. And I also got bored of this one a little bit, to be honest. So that's why I decided to move into this bullet journal. And I'm so excited to use a Hobonichi for next year again. Some of you probably already know that I'm gonna be using the Hobonichi cousin, but yeah, I'm really glad that I won't be using this one anymore because I feel like it's just not perfect for me, and I felt like I couldn't really use this to its full potential because it just wasn't really the right book for me, if that makes sense. So yeah, I'm excited to use a Hobonichi again, but I'm glad to kind of leave this one behind. Okay, so now let's talk about my current planner system, which isn't really something exciting, to be honest. I just have this bullet journal set up pretty simple, actually, I'd say. I just have a future log, then I set up all of my months in advance and also my weeks. And after my weekly overviews, we just go into my monthly to-do list, and after that we just go straight into my dailies. So yeah, this is a pretty simple setup, but it actually works really, really well for me, and I'm glad I tried bullet journaling because I always thought this was a system that couldn't really work for me, but it obviously does. So I'm really excited about this. But I'm even more excited for my hobonichi cousin next year, to be honest, because I'm just so excited to try something new, and I think that this could actually work pretty well. But yeah, I think I will be talking about my new planner system a little bit more after I showed you my current journal, because my plan for next year is combining planner and journal. So yeah, but this is my bullet journal. I'm currently using this and I'm really enjoying it so far. Okay, now let's talk about my journal. This is an A5 plain hobonichi notebook, and I have this in the 𝚎𝚊𝚊𝚙𝚝 anemone cover. I love this cover so much. It's so pretty, and I kind of struggled last year because initially I didn't really want to get it because it was pretty expensive, but I actually decided later on to get it, and I'm so glad I did, because it's just so pretty, and I'm really excited to have it. But yeah, this is my main journal for memory keeping and also for stream of consciousness journaling and things like that. And I can already tell you I'm gonna change this up because it's not really ideal, but maybe let's just look into the notebook first. As you can see, I have one of those rivet bands around the book to kind of keep it closed. I know you can use the pen loops to close the books, but I always write with one fountain pen, and it obviously can't be in each book. So yeah, I kind of like using those rivet bands, and also this got pretty chunky, so I don't think it would be a good idea to use the pen loops. So yeah, let's just open this up. I'm not sure if I can even can you see the whole book? Yeah, okay, I think that's fine actually. So yeah, I just have this picture on the right hand side, and then a couple of bits and pieces in those pockets, which I don't really use, to be honest. They're mainly decorative, and I won't be able to show you too much in here. I have 2 pages tapped off, but yeah, I can't really show a lot because, as I've already mentioned, this is my memory keeper, but also my stream of consciousness journal, and just a journal where I do a lot of reflection and things like that, and I'm not really comfortable with sharing that. And that's actually one of my problems with this notebook, because I absolutely love sharing my journals, not just with people online, but also with friends and family, and that's not really possible with this one. So yeah, but maybe let me just show you the pages I did in here, or some of the pages. So yeah, this is pretty much the journaling style I'm doing in here. I write a lot, and then I also tip in things like, for example, this little booklet I got with my A6, I think. And yeah, that's pretty much the style I do in here. It's, well, I wouldn't say it's nothing special, because it's obviously, I think it looks nice, but it's pretty straightforward, I'd say. So yeah, then I also have this page tabbed off, and it's just, I'm so happy with some of the spreads I did in here, and I'm kind of sad that I can't really share them. So yeah, that's definitely something I'm going to change up next year. And my plan is to separate memory keeping and journaling in like a more stream of consciousness way, or like really text heavy journaling. Like, what I want to do is use the hobonichi cousin next year for planning and journaling in a memory keeping way. So I want to use the monthly and weekly pages for planning, and then the daily pages for memory keeping. And since I won't really have enough space to also do like long form journaling in the 𝚎𝚅, I'm just gonna do this in a separate notebook. And I actually think this is a pretty good idea, because this way I can share my 𝚎𝚅 online. And another thing is that I don't always want to be confronted with like my feelings and emotions, which probably sounds really bad, but I don't always want to be confronted with those things when I'm looking through this journal and looking at my memories. So for me, it's really important to kind of record my feelings and emotions and things like that, because I often have problems connecting with them. And I also often doubt if I actually felt things or if they actually were that bad, which is probably because I'm autistic and I just have a lot of problems with that. So it's really important to record those things, because I never know if I get better or worse, or if things actually were as they were, if that makes sense. But I don't always want to be confronted with those things. So I think it actually makes a lot of sense to really just separate those two. And in this way, I have dated memory keeping pages, which is also something I realized I need, because sometimes I don't get to journal every day because I just don't have the energy, and then I want to catch up on things, but that's not really possible in here because I'm like continuously journaling. So I think dated pages are a good idea, and that's what the 𝚎𝚅 will be for. And then I also have a notebook where I can just write without thinking about making things pretty or worrying that someone could see the nonsense I put down on paper. And yeah, I think that's actually a pretty good idea, and that's what I'm gonna do for next year. And I'm pretty excited about that, because I just feel like it will actually solve a lot of my problems. And yeah, that's kind of my plan for journaling next year. So yeah, the 𝚎𝚅 for planning and memory keeping, and then I will be using an A6 size plain notebook, and I probably put this in the gingham cover I got from hobonichi this year. So yeah, that's pretty much my plan for journaling, and I'm so excited about this, because yeah, I actually think this is a good idea, and I don't really know why I thought it would be a good idea to do memory keeping and long form journaling and reflection in the same book. I think it's probably because I kind of like the idea of having one book for all of those things, but it doesn't really make sense. So yeah, that's my plan. I hope this makes sense. I feel like I sometimes can't really get my point across pretty well because, well, English isn't really my first language, and I feel like I can't really articulate myself as well as I would be able to in German. But yeah, I just hope it makes sense to you. And yeah, that was my main journal, and that were my plans for my main journal next year. Now let's talk about this cutie, which is actually a notebook I haven't shown on this channel yet, and this is my reading journal. As you can see, this is also an A6 size Leuchtturm pocket notebook, and it's just this really pretty light pink color, and I have a Polaroid on here and also a couple of those dot stickers. And yeah, again, this is my reading journal, and I think it's nothing special. It's just a pretty usual setup for a reading journal, I think, but it definitely does the job. And I set this up halfway through the year pretty much, and now I'm kind of catching up on all of the books I've read so far this year. But yeah, I'm really enjoying this. So I just have a title page, then a genre tracker, so I just color in the books and like the genre I read books in. As you can see, I read a lot of fantasy. Then I just have my TBR, and this isn't really complete. I think I have to add a couple more books. Then I have the series tracker, which I'm absolutely not using. As you can see, I've left a lot of space to track all of my book series, but well, I don't do this really. I'm just not using the spreads, and those definitely aren't all of the series I'm currently reading. So yeah, I don't know. I probably wouldn't do this in the next reading journal. Then I have a spread for the locations books are set in. So for example, if a book is kind of set in New York, I would record this in here. The thing is, as I've already mentioned, I'm reading a lot of fantasy. So the places where the books are set in aren't really existing a lot of the time, so I haven't really thought about that. But yeah, I think I'll at least be able to put a couple of things in here. Then I have the books I've read this year, the books I've read in pictures, new books I've got this year, the books I've got this year in pictures. And yeah, then my Goodreads reading challenge, another reading challenge I'm participating in, a spread for my yearly highlights, and after that we just go into all of my months and the spreads for each book I've read with just, yeah, I usually just do the title in a pretty fountain pen ink and then write down the synopsis and also a little review for each book. And I'm actually really enjoying this. I don't know, it's a lot of fun at the moment, and I really like keeping a record of the books I'm reading. So yeah, that's my reading journal, and I'm definitely going to set up a reading journal for next year, but I realized I need a little bit more space. I think I definitely underestimated how much space I'd actually need, and I think this is just a little bit too small, so I decided to pick up something a little bit bigger. And I decided to go with another Leuchtturm notebook, but this is a B6 size notebook. So it's not quite as big as an A5, which I thought would probably be a little bit too big, but it's also not as small as the A6 Pocket. So yeah, I chose this one. And initially I actually wanted to get the B6 in a black hardcover, but I got this one, which is the gray softcover, on sale actually for half off, and I was like, well, I'm gonna take that. So yeah, this one will be my reading journal for next year. And now that I'm looking at this one, I think the soft cover is actually a pretty good idea, because this has gotten pretty chunky, and I think the soft cover is actually not that bad because it's just a little bit more flexible. So yeah, this will be next year's reading journal, and I'm so excited to have a little bit more space and also just to set this one up, because I absolutely love setting up reading journals. I'm probably doing a setup video on this one, so if you're interested, just subscribe to the channel so you're not missing this video. And yeah, I'm really excited about this, and I didn't even really know Leuchtturm did those B6 notebooks, so I was actually pretty excited discovering that. So yeah, I think this will be great. So yeah, really excited about that. And last but not least, of course, I also have to mention my Drawers notebooks, because they are kind of part of my lineup, but also not really, because those are just books I have set up and use when I kind of feel like it or on special occasions. So I wouldn't say they're specifically part of my lineup, but I mean, they are still there and I'm using them. So I just wanted to quickly mention them. I won't go into detail about them though, because as I've already mentioned, I have done a whole video on them. So just go ahead and watch that if you're interested. But let me at least tell you what I use each notebook for. This one is my ink journal. I have all of my ink swatches in here and also just things like currently inked and similar stuff, so pretty much everything fountain pen and ink related. Then we have my olive travels notebook, which is my travel journal, and I also have an insert for museum journaling in here. So yeah, that's probably out of those three the one I use the most, actually, I'd say. And last but not least, we also have this pretty blue travels notebook, which is my special memories journal of some sort. I just journal about special memories in here, and yeah, that's probably pretty much it. And those journals won't really change for next year, I think. I'm definitely going to keep the ink journal and the travel journal the same. The only thing I want to do is kind of simplify this one a little bit, but I think I'm going to talk about that when it's time. So yeah, those are my Travelers notebooks. And I really like them, even though I don't really use them that much anymore. So yeah, those are all of the planners and journals I'm currently using, and also some of my plans for next year. Again, I'm so excited for 2024 and I can't wait to set up all of my new journals and planners and just finally use them. Please let me know in the comments down below what you are currently using. I'd really love to know, so maybe just tell me a little bit about your system, because yeah, again, I'd love to know. And other than that, I of course hope you've enjoyed watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next video. Take care and goodbye.